Are you even listening to me? Come on, dude. Wake up! 2025 is gonna be great!
How dare you!
I'll take care of this. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're one on the phone.
Well, it's 19 degrees out. Real feel is 2. That's what the weather is saying. But I gotta tell you this crazy story. Spring of 1873, Wild Bill Hickok and Buffalo Bill Cody stood right over there. And an incident happened that you're never gonna believe happened in Titusville. I'm not making this story up.
This is the Daily! That was a bad one.
No! Crazy fight story in Titusville. Son of a plumber, it is cold out. But I gotta tell you a little brief history on what happened on the corner where the Clo.Drake stood. Little brief history before I get into the story. William Frederick Cody, better known as Buffalo Bill Cody. Legend of the old American West. He got his nickname Buffalo Bill because he killed buffaloes for the Pacific Railroad to supply them with bison meat, just like me, AKA Johnny Wallpapers. I worked for the Department of the Interior, and right here, Jimmy Two Phones. If you've been living underneath a rock, you would never heard of Buffalo Bill Cody, but I'm sure you've heard of the man. He founded the Buffalo Bill Wild West Show in 1883. I almost said the wrong date. It's so cold out here, my brain is frozen. He performed cowboys and Indian wars based on stage and theaters. Basically, it was around before movie theaters got started. It was more of a stage performance. Of course, you still have stage performances in New York and the bigger cities and stuff, but that was the main thing. They filmed up on stage shows, and Buffalo Bill started a show, performing shows about cowboys and Indians. Crazy. History is awesome if you look back into it. Woo! That was good. Got my own little performer here. But before Buffalo Bill Cody started his own production stage company, he was just a performer on stage, just an actor doing the cowboys and Indians thing. But I gotta tell you, I'm testing out my new mic. So I'm very curious on seeing when I get home how this editing goes. But I gotta tell you, spring of 1873, Buffalo Bill Cody invited another legend to come to Titusville to be in his stage performance right over there. The legend that Buffalo Bill Cody invited to come to Titusville, PA, yes, I'm not making this story up. The man's name was Wild Bill Hickok. Yes, you know him as the famous gunslinger. And crazy enough, where I'm walking, Buffalo Bill Cody and Wild Bill Hickok did a show in the theater right where I'm standing. It was called Scouts of the Plains in this area. And right beside was a hotel called the Mansion. We all know now it was the Clo.Drake. Before it was the Clo.Drake, it was the Mansion Hotel. When Cody was here with Hickok, this was the Mansion House. And I'm putting in the video what it used to look like. And as you guys all know nowadays, well, Titusville people, it was the Clo.Drake for years. But it never became the Clo.Drake till 1945, this building. But back in the day, it was the Mansion House. And think about it. Wild Bill Hickok and Buffalo Bill Cody stayed there. And beside it was a theater they performed in. The more you know. I mean, just the history on this corner alone, I'm telling you, it's crazy. And they mark it with how and what it used to be. Pretty cool if you ask me. And there's the mansion house documented on the sign. Right there, Clo.Drake Mansion House. That didn't come till 1945, like I said.
Back here too.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think I ever shown anybody. But on these electrical boxes, I believe they are, they got the history of Titusville all over town. And they show, see, there's a mansion house room. That was part Wild Bill Hickok and Buffalo Bill Cody. Probably was in that room. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, these boxes are all over town. Pretty neat stuff.
On that day, that spring day, Hickok, Cody, Texas Jack, Omo Hundro, and John Burke got off the train right here in Titusville. They stepped off the train in Titusville, right down there at the depot, to perform their show across town.
Right beside was the theater house. And this is the crazy part of the story. When the crew got into town, they went in to the Mansion Hotel and decided, hey, let's go down and play some billiards. Let's kill some time. We got a couple hours to kill. So they go down in the parlor and the manager comes up to him and says, no. There's people in there from there's roughnecks from the oil industry over there. And they said, don't go in there. I don't want no trouble. Manager's like, please don't. So what the guys did, well, 3 of them went back up to the room. But you know, if you know the stories on Wild Bill Hickok, the dude, he was a rebel. He goes in the room anyway, knowingly something's gonna happen. But the other 3 guys are like, no, we don't want no trouble. So what they did, they come over to the theater to set up for the stage for their play that's happening in a couple hours. But Hickok did. He walked into the billiards room with 5 roughnecks from the oil field. You know, around here was all, well, you guys know the history of Titusville. You know the stuff I've done on Titusville. All the oil history stuff, 5 roughnecks were in there. And they meant business. And basically they told the manager before Bill Cody got there, we're gonna mess with them when they get here. Well, Hickok, he really didn't care. But the other 3 dudes didn't know Hickok went in there. They'd come over to the theater to mess around and get the stuff done before the play started. This is how the story went. Hickok walks into the billiards room, and one of the guys, Steiner-like, Scott Steiner big, in the story it says he was a brute, big dude, buffed out dude, grabs Hickok by the shoulder and says, oh, we've been waiting for you, Buffalo Bill. And he looked at him and says, I'm not Buffalo Bill. And one of the roughnecks in the back yells, liar! And the guy's like, okay. So Hickok's like, what? So what happens was the manager at the Mansion Hotel freaks out because all this yelling, all this hullabaloo is going on here. The manager from the Mansion Hotel runs over here where the theater is, grabs Buffalo Bill Cody and the 2 guys that come with them on the train to be in the stage show, take him back over to the Mansion House to stop Hickok from being, man, it's cold, I can't even talk. My mouth is frozen.
Keep going, it's good.
Keep going, it's good. To rescue Hickok from these people who want to beat the crap out of him. But what happens was, as soon as they walk into the mansion house right here, the commotion stops. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Next thing you know, Wild Bill Hickok stumbles out. He's like, don't worry about it. I punched the leader out and I beat the rest down with a wooden chair. So basically all the guys knowing that he's that way, and he basically didn't take crap from anybody, they basically applauded him as he walked up the stairs. This actually happened here where I'm standing. Historical, where the Clo.Drake was, where the mansion house was. Buffalo Bill Cody, and Wild Bill Hickok was right here.
Are you not entertained?
Yes! You never know what happened in your small town. You gotta go digging through the history to find these cool little stories. And thank you, Aaron, for sending me that story through my Instagram, because that's the only way you can get me. Instagram or Threads, because, well, you know, Facebook hates me. But, very cool story he sent me. And it was cool because, unfortunately, I gotta walk downtown now because my car, yes, the unthinkable happened. The old Nissan broke down. So I gotta end this week's vlog a little short this week. But I got some stuff to do. Gotta go to the parts store. Trust me, I'm not looking forward to messing around in the snow. But what do you do? But those were the days.
Those were the days, my friend.
When Wild Bill Hickok and Buffalo Bill Cody visited Titusville. It's crazy what happened in Titusville back in the day. I would love to go back just for 1 week and observe what happened in this town when it was the oil boom and all these crazy characters. Old West legends were here. It's insane. But I'll see you next week with another crazy video. Now I gotta walk downtown in the cold because the old Nissan let me down. First time in almost 6 years. What do you do? See you next week.
It's all part of the film.
It is. Johnny Walker. I work for the Department of the Interior. Just like me, aka Johnny Wallpapers. I worked for the Department of the Interior. And right here, Jimmy Two Phones.
This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
This is a daily.